Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. Spencer Caron asked me to build a library, and there is a number of you who requested a library, so do forgive me because I wasn't able to locate all the comments, so I've just put this one name. As you can see at the front of the library I have a focal point. I love that there's a bookshelf at the back with bricks on it, so it looks like something that would be external to a build as opposed to internal. And I decided to, just for the window areas, have clear glass windows so that you can see right into the building and see the activity going on, people studying at computers and so on and so forth. There's a little touch of greenery to the front of the build with lights on the inside to keep it edgy, since it's a city library. We don't want any creeping vines or anything like that. And I was most pleased with the fact that I was able to create a build that wasn't exactly a square. The reason I say this is because these plots are super narrow. If you have access to this city, you would find that these plots are very narrow, and once you try to get creative with the shape of the build, you would lose good use of the space on the inside. So this for me was satisfactory, and I was able to have useful space in the interior. Now we're going to go inside under this focal point that's like a signage with a globe and the books and so on. And it sort of overhangs before a set of double doors that are made of glass, so it doesn't look like a residential home or anything like that. So once you come in, you are met with a large space. You have a receptionist in place, and do remember this is a city library, so you won't find much dark oak wood, but certainly for the center part here, this reception has a lot of dark colors and some dark tones, but the rest of the area downstairs is very bright, very breezy and very clean. Now I absolutely love these lifts because they are curved on the sides, and it's character filled for the small space that it's in. And this is the view of the receptionist into this library. So we have a number of seats where people sit down and wait, perhaps for a pass or waiting for a friend, or here to just return a book and leave. So I have this section over here, and I've used the French Chateau single bookshelves in here to fill up the space. I like that they're quite thin and, you know, nicely pressed against the wall, so there's a bit more space for the Sims to move around and between the different shelves and study. Some are standing up reading a book, maybe they're testing it out and deciding whether or not to read that book, and some are already sitting down and have already made that decision. Now there is an area for reading, and you do realize that in libraries you have a section where there are computerized archives, so you can come in and log in and get to very old and detailed information from previous years. You can print it out and be on your way and use it for whatever research that you had intended originally. It was also important for me to allow a lot of space in and around these bookshelves so that the Sims can move around, because initially when I built this library it was quite chock-a-block and it looked super crowded. So now that I have made a lot of space, I was able to get some reading desks in, and I have some Sims still standing and, as said before, making a decision on what book to pick up. But I felt that it was quite nice to be clear and have Sims around as opposed to lots of chairs, which the Sims couldn't even get access to. This is another archive computer station situated here by that window, and that's basically what I have on the ground floor here. Now you've seen one bookshelf and you've seen them all, so don't worry, upstairs is completely different. There are other departments there, but this is what we have on the ground floor of this library. It's very clean, very bright, because it's a city library. And even people come from their workplace to gain access to certain books that they need to further sharpen their skills in the workplace. Now I'm getting Fabian here to take us upstairs, and look at these doors on the side here. These brown ones are actually doors, but they've got engraved book patterns in them, and so they could pass for bookshelves as well. Now once we get upstairs, we have a cafe on the side, but first, when you come out of this lift, you come to another cozy reading area. There's still some bookshelves, piles of books, and it's supposed to be a quieter space. Having said that, there's a cafe on the side. However, it's meant to be a much more cozier place to study in, away from the open plan area downstairs. This lift on this side comes from downstairs too, so there's no basements, they both lead upstairs. Now the cafe on the side here has a couple of bar tables and 4 stools and more stools towards the actual kitchen area. I'm just going to get a number of Sims to sit down. It's just for 1 minute and 48 seconds. I wish that these bar stools and bar tables were a lot more interactive. Well, not a lot more, just be interactive, because there's no interaction whatsoever. You sit down for this 1 minute and 48 seconds and you're done. But you know, they're very beautiful items, and if they could interact with them, perhaps sit down, have a drink, and then maybe tap on the same table and then join in and have a laugh, or splash a drink in the face or something like that. Because it's purely decorative, really. They don't even sit down for that long, so they just sit there, and after 1 minute and a few seconds they get off. But it would have been nice. Now I've just got Ben to make some sandwiches, but he's interestingly stirring a pot. A toaster maybe? This is the restroom for the girls, so you come through that door, there's a place to wash your hands, and we have a couple of units for them to use, and it's nicely situated away from the study area. So you come in first through to where the sink is, and then more doors to where the unit is, so there's a bit more distance between that area. And over on this side we have the study area for kids. So I've decided to go for these 4 different tables instead of the big square one, so that I can have more color thrown around in the space. And I just love the fact that they get on there and start coloring away and so on, and playing around with pieces of paper. Now I have this beautiful poster here, but before we talk about that, I'm just going to get her to use this and look at pop-ups. I can't remember how we got this bookshelf, but the toddler's meant to pick a book and then sit on the floor and read, but she's walked off and left the area meant for her, and now she's headed down the lift. Never mind, we'll find her later. But this progressive poster here is really cute and beautiful. It's just adorable, but I don't know where it came from. It's possible that it came from a house I downloaded off the Architect tab, who knows. Well, there's a section here for younger Sims to come up and make use of computers, and they can research appropriate content up here, and have a pass only for these computers. And this little boy here looks like he's listening to information through his earphones, probably in a different language. But that's what we have up here. And then there is a restroom for the boys situated right here, so you come in through that door. We've got the same sort of structure, 2 units and a wash sink prior to getting into where the units are. And that's generally what we have at the top floor. Now I wish we had another floor right at the top, but no. You only get 2 floors with a penthouse. Now it's time for me to look for that little girl, so I can show you what it looks like. For those of you who don't have that bookshelf, it's the only one that allows you to have a toddler pick up a book, go off somewhere and open it up, and you find this little pop-up thing taking place. It's actually detailed, but I can't find her. And you know, these little toddlers just wander off. Maybe they're outside. Perhaps she is behind these doors. Let's see. I don't see her anywhere by the lift. Not at all. Oh my goodness, where is she? This would be a story. The mum has lost a child in the library. And boy, oh boy. No, there she is. I just saw her. There she is. Well, there. She's by her mum and her big brother. It's interesting. So there she is with the little book, and you can see the little pop-up things on there. And that completes the tour for this library. It was a good idea to build this. Initially I was quite reluctant because I just felt it's just going to be a pile of books everywhere, but no, it's still worth it, and I was happy that I took on this request. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!